All right, perfect. I would say the majority of people are here. We could start. The rest of those people are just not interested in talks whatsoever. They're just here for the food or whatever else. These are the most loyal WarsawJS fans are here, which means we can start. The rest of the people, whatever. Anyway, as per usual, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, I welcome you at WarsawJS 130. Yes, thank you. You're such a good audience. And yeah, something happened again. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We can just press it here. Perfect. So, as per tradition, I would ask, who is here for the first time? Oh, nice. So now all the people who are here not for the first time, look at the people who are here for the first time and tell them that you appreciate them and thank them for being here. And, you know, this is how we work, right? WarsawJS is a community of JavaScript professionals and everything that revolves around not just JavaScript, pretty much everything that's loosely connected to IT that works. Oh, nice. We have, by the way, we have a 3D printed thing every single meetup. And I don't know how he is not running out of ideas and filaments to print this every single time. But anyway, okay. So yeah, it's not just JavaScript. We have some backend engineers, some non-JavaScript engineers are going to give some talks today. So WarsawJS is just a name. So not just JavaScript, but mainly around JavaScript. Anyway, I forgot it's broken, sorry. Right, so as you know, we have meetups. There's a conference that runs once in a while. We have workshops. There's a blog. If you want to be featured there, you can share. What we do is basically like do a little feature on our blog. So the content you create stays yours, and we just sort of promote you, I guess. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us. We do master classes. We do photo sessions, photo shoots for ID companies. There's a Cursor AI Jam. If you like to vibe code, you can vibe code with us. That happens with that guy if you're interested. The guy who 3D prints. Yes, you can approach him and vibe code together if you're interested. And we have the Slack community, of course. Right. Now, our mission. Do we have like a live stream here? Can I swear? All right. Anyway, who here knows about Berlin Code of Conduct? Yeah, like very loosely. But you know what? The Berlin Code of Conduct is can be summed up with like one sentence. Don't be a jerk. I usually say another word, but maybe I think we have live stream today, so yeah, we know who don't want to get demonetized, right? Don't be a bad person. If you see other people being bad people, let us know. Or if you see organizers being bad people, just call the police. It's not a very good joke. Right. So we want to be welcoming to everyone, regardless of where you're from, what's your name, what's the color of your skin, what sort of thing you vibe with. We are welcoming everyone. That's me. I'm going to be your MC for today. And as per usual, we have our amazing team, which is Piotr and Sasha. And then let's give them another round of applause. Because without them, it will never be possible. And we have, more importantly, we have our amazing team of volunteers. Please, just another round of applause for them. I know it's really tiring, but it means a lot. Because without those people, nothing would have happened, once again. And if you would like to join our small team, we might want to have you as well. If you're just interested in, getting behind the scenes, maybe get to know some people. If you're just starting out, maybe it's your chance in finding a job, or who knows? It could be useful. Just get to know some people. So if you want, you can scan it, either email or Slack, reach out. And yeah, and if you want to be on stage, if you want to talk, if you want to broadcast your message, if you want to share your knowledge, you could do that by scanning this QR code. Anyone here who always wanted to speak but never dared to do so? Really? No one wants to? That's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to speak. Speaking is for... Oh, scanned it? Did you scan it? Okay. That doesn't matter. You can submit another talk. We need more speakers. Right. Most importantly, the sponsors, which is Xfang, and new finally, the protocol.it, which is a job search board with a lot of... Actually, I am currently jobless. And before the meetup, they told me, like, hey, we have this sort of new partner. I was like, okay. I went and I found some interesting jobs in there. There's even a filter by B2B contracts if you need that. Very nice for Poland. So yeah, it's a job board for catered towards IT specialists. So there's a bunch of different filters, so definitely check it out. And most importantly, thanks to BEC Poland for hosting us, for this amazing venue, for the food and everything else. Please eat the food when there's some break time. Yes! Yes! Now we're talking. All right, now we got some energy. And of course, we have KMag and JetBrains as our partners, and we have JetBrains licenses to give away, right, Piotr? Yes, okay. So after each and single talk, you will be able to ask questions. And if you ask the best question, which will be decided by the speaker, you will get 1 year of JetBrains license. It just works for any product you want. You just select it from even for the ultimate thing. I used to have it. It's nice. Great. We have some pretty good lineup for today. I'm honestly really excited. And I'm not going to spoil everything, so you're just going to stay and watch our amazing speakers. Speaking of which, oh yeah, of course, lightning talks. We're going to have 2, maybe 3 lightning talks today. Maybe I'll do a lightning talk. And let's get ahead. We are getting a little bit behind the schedule. This is why I'm sort of, I welcome you on stage. Our next speaker, Mikołaj Roszczyk. That's right. Perfect. Yes, please go ahead. Do you have a microphone? I need to take it from you. Okay. Yeah, it's, you know, it happens. We have different laptops as it happens. All the people have their laptops. So how do you find the weather recently? So I actually really enjoy this kind of weather. Are you good? Okay, doesn't matter. I no longer need to fill in the, there you go.
Thank you. Okay, maybe first I'll start with asking one question. How many of you know OpenVino as a toolkit, as an app, as a tool? Okay, you know, one person. Okay. So my name is Mikołaj, and in the next 20 minutes, I'll try to change the proportion of people not knowing and knowing OpenVino, that all of you will have a basic knowledge about what it is and what its power, and I hope you'll be able to try it yourself later. Okay, first about me. I currently work as a deep learning software engineer at Intel. And OpenVino is an open source product managed by Intel. At Intel, I do not do anything connected to JavaScript. I work on achieving the best possible performance on Intel GPUs by using the power of software. But apart from my Intel job, I am a researcher and student at Warsaw University of Technology. I organize PyData Warsaw, another interesting meetup in our beautiful city. And as well, I organize conferences like Python Summit. And the last information, maybe that I am C, C++, and Python developer, but what's more important about that information is that I am not a JavaScript developer. I bet this is not very popular in this place, on this stage, that the speaker doesn't have a knowledge, extended knowledge in JavaScript. But this is our project, which started as an experiment, and I think we did it well, and I learned the basics of JavaScript to make it happen. So what is the agenda for today? First, I'll introduce you to OpenVino to make more than one person know what I'm talking about. Later, I'll tell you how to use OpenVino in JavaScript, how to create a desktop application with optimized AI in Electron.js, and if there's time, I will show you the hide your mess behind app. Now, today it was the change. Now it is not hide your mess behind demo. This is hide your mess behind app. This is like last minute change, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so first of all, I bet many of you know the difference between training and inference. First, when we have data and algorithms, we do training to create a model. A model is, in case of neural networks, it's usually weights. And later, when we have the trained model, we can conduct inference to get results from our input, from our prompt, from our input image, or whatever is the model's purpose. When we have the model trained, this is just a 50% of the success. Because after training the model, we still have to deploy it. We still have to get the results we want. So these three questions are important when running inference, when deploying the model. So first of all, we have to ask ourselves a question: how to achieve the best possible performance out of the available hardware, how to get the most popular use cases and cutting-edge AI running, and how to maintain code across different architectures. And to these questions, the answer is OpenVINO. OpenVINO, most people think that I'm talking about some wine or other alcoholic drink, but Vino is it means visual inference and neural network optimization, so it doesn't have anything in common with wine. And more detail what it is. These are the popular frameworks in which you can have your model trained, and you save your model in one of those formats. These formats are supported by OpenVINO. And the most popular frameworks for training neural networks are probably PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Keras. And you can train the model in those frameworks. Later, you convert the model to OpenVINO to optimize performance, specifically, usually on the Intel hardware. So you run it on hardware. But OpenVINO can work not only on Intel hardware. We support also ARM architectures, and this demo I will show you today, it was even tested on NVIDIA cards. And it works on Windows, Linux, and macOS, so basically most of the computers in the world. So benefits are that you can build and deploy AI applications in simple steps, really simply, just in a few lines of code. And it's optimized, it's faster than the original framework like PyTorch. And you maximize performance across different architectures. So OpenVINO is developed in C++, and this is the native language. So feel free to use it in C++ to visit the code and to see how it is built. But we have other free APIs, C, Python, and what is most important for us today, JavaScript. Probably Python is the most popular because this is the language of AI and machine learning usually. So I'll introduce you to some basic functions in Python, but don't worry, it will take just a minute. So first, we install OpenVINO just from PAP. And later in our project, we need to import OpenVINO. If it's computer vision, it's of course an image, but if it's LLM, then we need some prompt. But here, as an example, let's have image as an input. Later, we define the core, and we compile a model for the specific architecture. Because in OpenVINO, we have different compiled models for the specific device. And here we have CPU, but it can be GPU, it can be auto. Auto means that OpenVINO chooses itself the best possible performance. And it can be, for example, NPU, which is a new architecture from Intel. We define the output layer because sometimes there are a few outputs, and we get the result by running the inference. So OpenVINO models are in different format than other frameworks. For example, in PyTorch, we have a .pt format. OpenVINO has IR format, which consists of two files. One is XML file, which contains a model architecture. So different layers are defined, different connections between layers, and binary file, which contains all the weights of the neural network. So how to convert your model in one of those formats to IR format? There are two ways. First is in Python API. We just define, of course, import OpenVino, and later run one command, which means convert model, and later we can save model in the location of our computer. So this is the really simple way in Python how to do it. Just 3 lines of code. Import OpenVino and those 2 lines. Or the other way is in CLI. If you have OpenVino in your virtual environment, you can just run this command, OpenVino converter, so OVC, and the name, a path to your model saved in different format, and it creates an IR format. You can also download IR format from Hugging Face. You just need to install Optimum Intel. This is an extension to regular Optimum, and you can export in OpenVino format directly from Hugging Face. Okay, so first, so now we can talk about JavaScript, which is why I'm here. You can install OpenVino by using Node Package Manager. So it's a simple and very obvious way. And later you just import OpenVino, and same as in Python, define core, find available devices on your computer. For example, if there's a GPU, then this function can find it. And later you read model from the path, define the device, like here it's auto, but GPU, CPU, NPU, as I mentioned before, are also possible. Later you compile a model to the device, and when you have a compiled model and some input person prepared, as I mentioned, it can be some image or in case of LLM some tokens. Then we define infer request. This is something new. This is not currently in Python. This is in C++. Also, we define infer request, and in JavaScript we define infer request. And later we set input tensor, and we run inference by this simple command. And as I mentioned before, we just find the result tensor, and this is our result. Okay, so now, as I promised, OpenVino and Electron.js, how it can coexist, how it can cooperate. So first important thing is the project structure. It is designed in architecture which is called model view component, model view controller. Sorry. And first of all, we define the main file, which initiates the application, sets essential parameters, handles every interruption. Later, we define the front end, which is a user interface, so this view component of the model view controller application. Here is some HTML, CSS, renderer.js. On the other hand, in the backend, we have OpenVino jobs file, which consists all the OpenVino operations, also pre-processing, post-processing, every backend component, basically. And what is important, this is the only component in which we import OpenVino. This is quite important because it doesn't work if we define OpenVino anywhere else. And preload, which is a bridge between user interface and OpenVino jobs. So let's say this controller part of model view controller architecture. And of course, Node.js modules with package JSON and package lock. So as I mentioned, HTML and CSS is here, OpenVINO is over there, and Electron.js functions are in those two components here. Okay, now we have some time, so this is a QR code which leads to the code of Hide Your Mess Behind demo in our repository. But what I'd like you to see is the live demo. So this is our application. We can choose the video source. Currently, I have only my laptop camera, so there's only one. I can choose the inference device. Currently, I have GPU and CPU. Sometimes it can be also NPU when you have AAPC laptop from Intel. But now I have only CPU and GPU. And we can start the camera. Okay, so far it works. As you can see, it does nothing specific, but we can turn on the inference. And now the background is blurred. This is the main purpose of this device. And as you can see, the inference time is really quick. We can infer 40 frames per second on auto mode. When you switch to GPU, it will be even faster, probably. Yeah, it's a little bit faster. And on CPU, it should be the slowest. Sorry? NPU? No, auto mode is the mode that chooses itself. To be honest, I'm not really sure how it handles this, but I know that it combines a little bit of CPU with GPU. There are some algorithms which choose between available devices in this auto mode. I don't have NPU component in this laptop. That's why I don't have NPU. Okay, and as you can see, the inference is quite fast, but I still have a lag here, which is not a result of inference. It is more a result of blurring functions. But these are all this is how the demo works. So it's really simple, and it just shows how quickly we can infer models in OpenVINO in JavaScript, and that we can create a desktop application with OpenVINO. Okay, so how to do it? Wait a second. Okay, this is a recipe for Hide Your Mess Behind demo. So first we take a frame from user's webcam. Later, we copy the image, we blur the image's copy. We run inference of, this is the model we use to run segmentation. This is TensorFlow Lite front-end IR model from TensorFlow library, but converted to OpenVINO framework. And we obtain a mask. So 1 when we blur, 0 where we do not blur. Later, we multiply the pixels in blurred copy to get the blurred image just where we want it, and later we blend and copy blend the copy with the original image to create one picture. So this is quite simple, and we present the results to the user. But there are two things that we need to remember. First, do not use OpenCV. First, we did it, and OpenCV is so slow when it comes to blurring images that we decided to change into Sharp. But as you can see, it is still quite slow. So this is our pain point of the whole project, blurring. And when you run inference, run it in the separate thread. It makes the log less visible. This is not the end. Okay, here we are. So these are the 4 threads that are in this application. First, we have the collecting frames thread, which just takes frames from the webcam and to make them available for us in the code. So we take the webcam frame. Later, in the separate thread, we run inference on this frame, and we get the result mask for blurring. Later, we do not combine this mask with the frame took here because it was quite a long time before. We take a new frame from the first thread, and we blur this image using the mask from before. Later, we get the result image, and we display it to the user. This thing here results that the image that user sees is not delayed by blurring and inference, but only by blurring. So only this process delays the frame and provokes the lag. Inference does not. So we run it in a loop, and this is how it is done. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you now more of you know what OpenVINO is and what can be done with it, and that you can use it in OpenVINO and in JavaScript and in Electron.js. Now, my last call to action is that if you have an idea how to make blurring run faster, you can create a pull request with your idea. We will be very happy to merge it, because this is our pain point. If you want to know more about what I just said, I published a Medium article with all the information from today's presentation and a little bit more even. And if you want to stay connected, the third QR code is my LinkedIn. So thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. So we have just one mic. Right. Do we have any questions? When you asked about anyone knows what OpenVINO is, I really wanted to make a joke from the seating, like I know how to open Vino.
This is not a very original joke.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here. Okay. Actual questions. You're the first one, right? Do we have someone with a mic? This was the first one. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, we have time.
So my question is, so you said that you take one picture and you run inference on it, and then you take another picture to apply the mask.
Yeah, that's right.
And is it like every second picture, or you just taking the current picture?
I take the current picture.
Okay, so it can be variable, like depending on the hardware and its performance. There may be more pictures lost in the process, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and for the inference, you also take the current picture at the time.
Yeah, that results in that the mask is not perfectly put on the on the image, but on the other hand, it's better to have a fluent movement than fluent mask.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to know if it's like strict or it's momentary.
Yeah. If I run it again, I don't know when my mouse is here. Okay. If I run it again, and I start moving very fast, you will notice that my hand is faster than, maybe not my hand because it's out of the mask, but if I try to move really fast, then you can notice that my movement is more fluent than the movement of the blur behind. That's because my movement in this picture is delayed only by blurring part of the process, and the mask is delayed not only by blurring part but also by inference part. So that was our.
Okay, so you're just updating the mask at the moment the inference on the picture is calculated, right?
Yes,
okay.
yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Sergey. I have some questions. Please tell me, Intel processors required only at the time of project compilation, or does the project in general not work on AMD processors and video graphic cards? If it only works on Intel, then what's the point of such application if we limiting the user's base this way?
No, it does not work only on Intel. As I mentioned before, it can. Maybe I'll come back to
you mark that, yeah, ARM. I remember, but what about AMD?
It works as well. It works on the OpenVINO project is developed by, maybe not developed because it's an open source project. It's managed by Intel, but it can run on different kinds of architecture. For example, when I was developing it, I was using a computer with NVIDIA card, and it was working as well. And I was also testing this application on AMD CPU and AMD GPU, and it works as well. So the project does not, it's not limited only to Intel architecture, to Intel hardware.
Okay, thank you.
I have two parts. My question has two parts. The first one, the demo was focused on image and audio, and video. Well, can we apply OpenVINO to a text-oriented model?
Of course. On the last slide that I just wait a second. It might take a second. The last one. Okay. If you visit this repository, there we have a lot of projects focused not only on image processing, but we have also projects focused on LLMs, on some chatbots, and etc. Most of them are written in Python, so I'm not sure, maybe this is the only JavaScript demo there, but when you combine the knowledge from this demo, how to run the model in JavaScript, and with processing from our demos in Python, then you can very easily create your own demo in JavaScript using OpenVINO. But getting back to your question, no, it is not limited to image processing. You can run all kinds of models in OpenVINO.
So if I take a general text model like Llama, how much optimization from your experience would I get? Like if I download something from Hugging Face, is it worth it to optimize the model, like off-the-shelf model?
I cannot give you the exact data, I mean, in percentage or other statistics, because currently I don't have them. But I remember working on some benchmarking tasks, and sometimes it was even a few times faster in OpenVINO because of all the optimizations. Usually, yes, it's worth it. First of all, it's not a huge workload to convert it to OpenVINO and run it in OpenVINO, but usually the performance improvement is quite significant.
Great, thank you.
I was wondering regarding the benchmarking, if it's kind of built-in function to benchmark, or is it complicated? And the second question was, does OpenVINO has any costs? Because like optimization probably have some costs. Does it have some costs?
Okay. This is how OpenVINO works. First, when you run the first, let's say, inference, the model is being compiled. Compilation means that it chooses between different primitives, different low-level libraries, how to manage all of the operations. It fuses some operations together to make them run faster, and it creates an execution graph. So and it takes some time. So sometimes it can take a few seconds even to compile the model. But later, when you have the model compiled, it should be better performance every time you run it. But if you, for example, change the model with every iteration, then yes, every time it needs to be compiled, and it can take some time. But in most of the use cases, this is not a big problem, and this is not the cost.
This is yes. Round of applause, please. I'm sure you'll have much more questions, and please, if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to all the speakers in the meantime, between and after the talks. But we are running short on time, so we are welcoming Konstantin Cymbal here. Yes. To talk about the modern web APIs, right?
Can you hear me now? Fine, let me just try it. Just a second. Okay, whatever. So, hey, my name is Konstantin Cymbal. I work at Google, and I have a lot of experience in different companies, so I would try to base this speech on my experience. I was working in small companies like, service companies, and it was middle companies as Fiverr, and now it's Google, so I know from experience how is it to work on backend in different setups. So yeah, disclaimer, no AI in this speech, so thank you for AI, but yeah, not for my speech. So, let's speak about API protocols. How many of you are backend engineers or just know how backend looks like? Okay, fine. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of what we do on backend, mostly. So when we started doing backend, there was REST API. It's just most used API protocol. You just have request, you have a few methods, and you can just communicate with your server. And so it's used by 86% of users, so it's a pretty huge amount. Even now it's decreasing, so new protocols became more and more popular, yet it's huge number. And what frameworks do you use on backend? I'll just keep it short. So we have Express, it's something old most. It's based on JavaScript, so more or less no types, and just mature framework. Then there was Core. Core was a way from Express engineers to make it better. They tried to make it better, and yet it's super popular, 4.7 million of downloads. But from my perspective, I don't see it used in big organizations. What goes next is Fastify. I remember we were using Fastify in more or less small organization, let's say. And the good about Fastify is that it's more or less good integrated in the ecosystem of backend. It has a lot of native plugins, so like more or less everything should be done natively, kind of telemetry, documentation also, and like 90 plugins, and they're super easy to do. So if you want to, just distribute packages, you can do it via plugins, and it's super easy. And then goes Nest.js. Nest.js, it's 5 million downloads. It's a very modern framework for backend, let's say. And it's similar to Java. So I believe if you have experience with Spring Boot, you would probably go and do it on Nest.js server. It has huge infrastructure around. So everything is just created from engineers from Nest. Don't need to care. It has great documentation. I mean, probably if you're just trying to do good backends, you can go with Nest. There's almost no way you can do it bad. And yeah, it's solution for middle to big organizations. I remember we had framework over Nest. It was super easy to use, so we had like observability out of the hood. Some observability in for GraphQL, which is more tough. Again, out of the hood. Optimizations and stuff like this. So just platform team created. And what's next? Data format. We can use whatever we need. It's not limited by protocol. We can use JSON, we can use XML. JSON is the most used. We can play with optimization. If performance is key for us, we can, I don't know, use some ways to make it less. And documentation. Everybody wants to have some documentation for their service. So I believe that's what you would see if you have, if you need to integrate with API. And yeah, it's done automatically for Festify and Nest. I remember we were trying to create it for Koa, and it's like, was a bit tough, because Koa is, well, it's not natively for TypeScript, and we had to play around it. Observability. It appears that observability is more or less done for a lot of backend services, a lot of REST APIs. It's done out of the hood and just need it. I'm telling about observability because it would be, let's say, more difficult to do it with GraphQL. I'll cover it later. But yeah, caching. One of the good points from HTTP protocol is caching. Like, I believe 80% and more is good hash rate. It's implemented most likely by browser. Maybe your own system can be behind browser. It's not always browser, but a lot of requests are cached. It's super easy to do it. Yeah, it was good about REST API. So what's next? Then was GraphQL API. It was developed by Facebook. And the problem with REST API is that when you have endpoint, you can just do something. But when you need to change something, you have two options: either create new endpoint, either create, I don't know, modify existing. Yet, modifying existing will have some drawbacks, like just loading much more data than needed. Creating new one, it's work from engineering team. No one likes it. So Facebook introduced GraphQL. The idea of GraphQL is simple. Okay, it's used by almost 30%, so it's growing. And the idea is simple. So we have query, just front end ask whatever he needs. And we have types. Types are important here, because when we work with JavaScript, well, we need something to be more or less type safe. We don't want all of those null pointer exceptions, whatever. We need type safety. And GraphQL can just help us with types. It will generate something from these types. I believe it will cover it. But the point is that we can just fetch enough. So imagine we have some field that is kind of expensive to fetch. I don't know, it may be consuming a lot of time, or it may be just, I don't know, we may just pay for it. It may be open API. And it's not always needed. Let's say we need for payment this expensive field, but we don't need it for home page. So if we wanted to do it in REST, we would create new endpoint. With GraphQL, you can just define schema, and client would just ask for it if it's needed, and otherwise we won't serve it. So, and the nice thing is that we can use modern framework to just execute expensive field kind of when needed. So it's super easy and super integrated in the ecosystem. Code generation. It's another nice thing. Most likely, if you use GraphQL, you'll have something more or less consistent across server and client, and you can just play with those schemas. So this, let's say this is whatever your GraphQL query, GraphQL file, and it will generate code for you. You'll just share it with your teams. Yeah, it's supported by major frameworks like Apollo GraphQL and Nest.js, which uses Apollo GraphQL under the hood and just, I don't know, add some magic sauce. Documentation. It also supports documentation, and I believe it's just created automatically. So you have schema, and there's a definite way to create documentation, so it's just solve it. And it's super easy to use. You can just search this tool, and I was integrating with some other services. It was so nice to have this tool to search it and to know exactly what I need to use. And yeah, but the problem, caching and observability. Let's say with caching, it should be done on client side. You don't always know what exactly to cache. GraphQL is served on the /GraphQL endpoint, so there is no automated way how to do it. So like you will need to come up with something. Observability is the same. I believe even with SLOs. So if for REST you can say, okay, you just need to serve 99% of requests with, I don't know, 5 minutes. You can say it. With GraphQL, well, it can be tricky. So error handling. When a REST API just returns your status code, everybody knows what is status code and how to use it. GraphQL would return you everybody is 200. Everything is okay, but we will have error. We will have error codes. And we will kind of be connected to this error code. This, again, may create some issues for us. What's nice feature about GraphQL is federation. So imagine we need to create, for our homepage, we need to get our user and get services and get orders, get his products, get the user itself. We need it for our homepage. We will make, I don't know, if we do it straight, we'll make 3 different requests. First of all, we will lose a lot of time just for network, just for communication. We will pay for it, it's money. And it's time, we don't want. So what GraphQL introduced? It introduced federation. Federation is just merge schema. It just kind of know everything about all of those services, and we would call federation. Client would call federation. Federation will just serve those requests. It will collect information, and then it will return, and client will be happy. It will be faster, it will be cheaper. And it's, yeah, well, that's how it looks. It's super easy to use. So, and with this framework, it's Nest.js code, so just some decorator, some function, it works. And yeah, just super recommend if you use GraphQL, try to play with federation. And the next thing about protocol APIs, protocols, is gRPC. So for first 2 was mainly used for clients, and you can imagine that you have a client, just you speak with it. I believe performance was not really a bottleneck. But when we have microservices, we want to speak fast. We don't want to spend a lot of time on a lot of even money on networking. So we want smaller bodies. We don't usually need those headers. You can play with it. And yeah, that's why gRPC was introduced mostly. It was done by Google. And what? Okay. Yeah, nice thing. It requires HTTP2 protocol. How many of you knows what HTTP protocol do you use? So, well, for me, it was a bit of interesting knowledge that there are different protocols, and behind them usually was a big company. Behind HTTP2 protocol was Google, and it was more or less implemented for our own needs. Then it was, let's say, open sourced, and Google worked with a committee to make it standard. So gRPC is over HTTP2 protocol. It may be tough. I Googled and I see that in Node.js, it's still for some reason maybe tough to use HTTP2. So you just need to play with it. So we use protobuf for all of this stuff. For performance reasons, we don't like JSONs. JSONs are big. JSONs, when you send JSON, you send key. Key is a string. It's memory, isn't value. And you can kind of play with it. You can archive it, compress it, yet you can introduce some schemas. And schemas are good. gRPC is good for strongly typed languages. It's related mostly to the schema. And it's good for streaming. I believe, again, it's related to the point that we can use WebSockets. We can stream via WebSockets, but it's expensive. If we have cheaper way, we can do it with gRPC. So, protobuf. Protobuf is a schema that's often used behind gRPC. It's smaller than JSON. And yeah, it looks kind of like this. The good thing is that it's backward compatible more or less by design. So if you are working with REST API, you can, I don't know, you can introduce break and change if you do it blindly. I believe with protobuf, it's a bit more tough. You will always use kind of reserved word, and somebody will easily notice it. It's, yeah, nice thing, another nice thing for the stuff. I remember we used it in message brokers. So we need for message to be small. We kind of usually we store this messages kind of forever. So we need it to be small. We need it to be type safe. We need it to be kind of, system should exactly know what is in the message. So it's used for code generation. It's a nice thing that we can define service, we can reuse it, and we'll use it for some languages like Java. Let's say there are types are necessary, and I see it used a lot with Java, with strongly typed languages. It can be easy with JavaScript to play, I don't know, say whatever is JSON, parse it. If it's Java, it's tough. So let's go briefly over examples. REST API is used in Stripe API. It appears to be golden standard. GraphQL API, it's, I would say, more flexible something. You can just play with it. PayPal use it. And here's nice contrast. So Stripe API uses REST. GraphQL API, PayPal uses GraphQL API. So it's like never an obvious choice. And it's used for Studio API from Netflix, again, for this just ideas that we can query whatever we need. And gRPC, it's mostly backend to backend communication, so it's used in Netflix. And yeah, I see a lot of RPCs in Web3. So I believe almost each request is gRPC. And I believe that's it. So let's connect, and I'm open to questions.
Yeah, thanks for a great talk. Very nice, compact combination of the most popular ones. I'll ask two questions. Like, first one is more about your experience, like which protocol do you mostly use? And also, did you have an experience with tRPC?
I don't really had experience with tRPC, probably. Well, my first experience is mostly with REST. At Google, it's mostly RPCs when you speak backend to backend. There's also a bit of GraphQL or some kind of GraphQL, but we mostly use RPCs.
Okay, thank you.
All right. One more question over there.
I have a question about GraphQL. Like, what do you think? Because I think it had its glory days like a couple of years ago when people were excited about GraphQL and types, but now I see in projects that people are actually using REST endpoints to serve schema for their objects, which seems like great fit for GraphQL, but for some reason people like don't like it. Do you also see that and have some thoughts on that? Why that may be?
So, if I see that people don't use GraphQL, it's kind of decreasing usage. Was it the question, or?
No, the question was, what do you think is the reason that people don't like it? Or do you think that,
Well, GraphQL is a bit complex from my view. I remember my friend was telling that, so a query is simple. When we query GraphQL, it's simple, we just know the answer. But with mutation, it's a bit tough. Let's say when you want to change some resource, and then you want to, I don't know, get some resources, maybe some resources will be related. And then there is a big chance that you will have race condition. So you'll query another system, federation will query it for you. And UI will see kind of a bit of outdated information. I believe it's also like with every technology, when it starts, there is some peak. And then people will be just more mindful when using it. So maybe it was a peak, and now we just see that, I don't know whether it's really needed or not. But yet, I saw some surveys, and they say that people kind of use it. I believe it was 24% or something like this in 2022. It was 29% in 2023. So it's a slowly increasing usage.
Thanks.
All right. No more questions. The room is quiet. Yeah, let's do code generation.
Like types and the client generation for like backend queries, especially in Google with like, I don't know, to also work in monorepo project where everyone does everything, or it's a bit less like spread?
Well, it's internal tools at Google. I believe our tools are usually known by different names in public and internally. So, yeah.
Okay, classified information.
Certainly classified. I think Google has like mega repo, not even like monorepo, it's a giga repo.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. Well, a round of applause for our esteemed speaker, please. Thank you so much. Right. And now it's time to finish all the food and ask the remaining questions that you might have to all the speakers and the future speakers, potentially. Who knows? Right. So we will be back at 2020. So you have roughly just about half an hour plus some time to come back, and we'll be back.
Mhm.
We're gonna hear you if you wanna like take a break.
Excuse me. We about to start? Anyone interested? We have more talks. Yep. Here they come. It's going to be time to eat even later if you're interested. Yeah, there's plenty of food. Nice. All right. Again, most loyal WarsawJS fans are here. Everyone else went home or just decided not to join us. But there's still plenty of room, still plenty of people. And with that in mind, I will welcome Misha Yermolayev on stage and give him a hand, please. And now we'll listen.
1, 2, 1, 2. And does it
All
work?
good? Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect. There was a joke in my mind, like, we're going to hear a thing or two about P. Diddy. I was like, P. Diddy? P. Diddy. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Just pretend it's funny. All right.
Okay. Hello, my name is Misha, and I'm going to tell you about what we call pain-driven development. But first, short disclaimer. This talk is more of a case study or even a logbook about how few trivial fixes drastically improved the perceived performance. All what I'm going to say might be completely wrong, but that was my experience. Second thing, it's targeted mostly at middle-level audience. Although I'm trying to focus more on high-level decisions, still, I assume you understand basics of how React works, specifically React. Yeah, and the last one, throughout the slides, there will be just one meme, one anime reference, and only one ChatGPT mention. So let's begin. Around January, I was ready to pick a new feature to implement, and I got one from the area I never touched before, and this area was timeline view. To give you some context, what we are even building, we are all-in-one no-code collaboration tool, or speaking more broadly, it's like a relational database with pretty UIs. And one of such UIs was timeline view. Basically, it's like a calendar-like component with infinite horizontal scroll. Yeah, to users, it might look pretty, but to me, as an engineer, it looked more like this. To give you, again, some of the context, our rendering library was built around an open source solution. This fork was like 5 years old already. It lagged behind the original by a few versions. It was written in pure vanilla JavaScript and used old React syntax. And yeah, cherry on top, original is not maintained anymore. And the performance was kind of bad. You can see those delays. Yeah, it kind of worked, and we always had more important stuff to do. So yeah, everyone pretended that it's okay. But the next 2 weeks I spent implementing this new feature, and it means that I had to spend 2 weeks straight using those timelines and scrolling them back and forth. And it started triggering me a lot, and my pain level started to increase slowly. So we decided to spend one last day to at least try to understand what is going on, and maybe so I can tell what's the effort of fixing it. And where do you usually start? Yeah, you start with performance profiles. Do every one of you know what it is? You know? Cool. So I tried to narrow down the whole scenario, left just a few cards, hit the record button, and scrolled just a bit. And what I saw was this. Yeah, we can definitely see there's some CPU work is going on, like those yellow spikes, but I hoped that there will be something like this. Before we dive in, let's take a step back and just a few tips of how to take more reliable profiles. First one, I suggest you to use incognito mode because yeah, everything gets tracked by it, even any web extensions you have. I have not a lot of them, but in case you have some sort of MetaMask or Grammarly, it can really mess up your snapshots. Also, I suggest using CPU throttling. It can help to notice smaller details. And the main thing, please use production build. There is a big chance that your problem doesn't even exist in production. But there is one more caveat. Let's take a look at those two functions. Like slow function calls small one in a loop 10,000 of time. And let's try to profile it. And this is how it looks. As you can see, we definitely see slow function, but there are no signs of small one. Do they even get called, or what is happening here? To answer this question, we have to remember how profilers actually work. And from what I know, they use a technique called sampling. So when during the period of time your code gets executed, it periodically takes those snapshots of your call stack and builds up this chart. And if you're lucky enough, as I was, there is a chance none of your function will get caught by it. So what does it mean to us? It means that profiler is good for detecting top slow function, but is kind of useless if we have issues with small ones. Let's get back to our issue and zoom in a bit. Here we can see our scroll event and the CPU work it triggered. Also, what else we can see here? We can see that almost the whole function is React work. It re-renders UI. I don't know why yet, but yeah, I don't see any other signs of other functions that gets called. And as we already know, there is not much sense into looking at the bottom level. So let's switch to a better tool for analyzing such sorts of issues, React DevTools. It has a feature of highlighting components that update right now. So let's enable it and try to scroll again. And this is how it looks. And yeah, a bunch of stuff happening on the screen, but the one thing that catches my eye are those headers. Because the component looks pretty that simple, why it even needs to be re-rendered. Let's select it, maybe some styles get updated. And once we scroll again, the selection gets reset and jumps to the parent. It can mean only one thing, that this DOM element gets removed and re-added back. And basically, any DOM manipulation on scroll are quite heavy. Okay, we know our problem. We need to get rid of it, and we need to just update those headers. No need to completely remount them. So let's dive into the code of our library. This is the render method of timeline header, and maybe some of you already can spot the issue. Okay, so basically the issue is in naming. They named this property like a function, but instead it's used as a React component. And it means that once the reference to the function changes, React will think that it's a completely new component and he needs to do all the thing all over again and delete it and add a new one. So the fix now is pretty obvious. We just need to make sure that the reference to the function stays stable. Let's go to our application code and the place where we define it. Yeah, it looks like this. For those of you who doesn't know, when one of those dependencies gets updated, the reference to the function also gets changed. And it means that the remount will happen. Where do we start from? First, let's start with some cosmetic changes. Let's rename it so ESLint and our teammates know it's a component. Also, let's remove this thing. In 99% of cases, it's just a code smell and it hides potential issues. Yeah, after it, let's analyze one by one our dependencies. And yeah, those 3 look really suspicious. Endticks and startticks are basically our boundaries of visible canvas. So yeah, they indeed update on every scroll event. We can ignore the rest for now. They were memoized, so not interesting. Sorry. How can we fix this? First, the most simple solution is to just move it inside the component and to maybe read those values from our state manager or from React context. Yeah, useTix is for establishing this real-time subscription to our store. Okay, the initial issue is already fixed. There won't be any remounts already, but it's still not great because of this subscription. Still, every header will get re-rendered on scroll event. Still not great, faster, but not ideal. What can we do more? If you take a closer look, startticks and endticks are used only inside our zoom function, and zoom is basically on-click handler. So we need those values only when user actually interacts with this header. There is no need to establish this subscription. We just need to get it one time as user interacts. So yeah, obvious solution is to read the state right inside the callback. I don't get much into the details of what is tick store. It depends on your state management solution. But yeah, let's assume we have some API to read state at any time, at any point. And this small change already drastically improved the experience. Okay, yeah, awesome solution. This one went to this, and you can see the difference. Already scrolling experience got much better. I was really hyped about this effect, so I polished all the solution till 3 a.m. And went to sleep. And yeah, this is the story with good ending. The next morning, I was enjoying good feedbacks from my teammates. And I mean, we are a 20 people team. It's almost whole company liked it. Great. But that's not the end. There is actually part 2. Around March, we started working on the new feature in this area related to timelines and etc. And yeah, the difference might be like subtle, but believe me, it required a lot of small changes inside the library to complete this view. I already envisioned amount of pain I was going to feel on myself. So the next thing I did was this. This change might seem silly. It's just conversion of JavaScript to TS, maybe updating some imports to use our own helper packages. But the biggest benefit of it was that I got familiar with the library, I learned it, and I was not afraid anymore to contribute into it. Basically, I started owning this piece of code, and it stopped being a black box to me. So it unlocked new possibilities of future optimization. Around that time, I was planning my vacation, and I opened the only one timeline I actually use in my day-to-day life. It's all vacations timeline. And yeah, the experience here was still garbage. And I use MacBook Pro, Max, I don't remember. So yeah, it's definitely not acceptable. And if you remember, I spent implementing first feature for timelines. I spent around 2 weeks. Implementing GunView, I spent 3 months or so. So yeah, I had my rage moment here. And I decided that it's time to actually do something with it. Let's start one by one. Scroll delays. If you implemented or used virtualized UIs like tables, it's pretty common pattern to have separate scroll containers for headers and the body. And even such giants like AG-Grid has this issue. It's just impossible to get rid of this delay if you scroll. I think it's related to MacBook hardware acceleration, but I'm not sure. And that's what I told to all my colleagues, that we just can't do anything about it. But then one day, one of my colleagues asked the main question: why? Why do we even need those separate containers? And indeed, I tried to push headers under the shared container like this, one line change, and it fixed the issue completely. This one line fix was the most impactful thing I ever done in my career. Okay. Let's go to the next one, penalty resize. So when there is a feature of resizing, you could drag this left panel and resize it. And what we were doing, once we start resizing, we were rescaling all the timeline body. We were recalculating all the collisions, all the item positions, and etc. And yeah, it's heavy. So the best solution to it is just stop doing it. But once you drop this rescaling feature, one more problem arises. Since it's infinitely scrollable canvas, it has some strict limitation to its size. It needs some fixed constraints. And once you resize the panel, you have to update the width of canvas body. It still might be faster than what was before, but can we maybe avoid all work? And yes, we can. We just need to make our panels float. And that's basically how it works in any design software you use, like Figma. Also, it's how it worked in our competitor tools. The next one, sticky titles. This one was fun because it worked okay before all the fixes, but it got slower. And yeah, initially I implemented it using CSS variables and intersection observer. It worked fast until we made our panels float. And yeah, when I took another snapshot, I saw those huge purple spikes. Purple means that you have a problem with rendering and it takes too long. Turns out that sometimes CSS is slower than JavaScript, and you should avoid updating frequently variables on containers that have many children. So I switched to JavaScript solution and just derived those flags and values from our state. And it was much, much faster. Yeah, you can scan this QR. This is a good article about CSS variables performance and its impact. I think it's from 2K17, but still quite good read. Okay, time for results. Yeah, scroll delays are gone completely. Yeah, you can see how it was scaling and super slow. Became much better. Still not ideal, but already okay. And right panel got faster as well. Huh? Yeah. Same MacBook, actually, it's same screen and two browsers, one by one. Okay. So this is how the title of this talk was born. As you can see, my colleagues weren't so surprised by this improvement this time, only 8 instead of 13, but okay. And the morale of this story, first point. Don't treat your dependencies as black boxes. Once you add the dependency into your project, it becomes your responsibility. Also, just by reading and patching it, you can learn a lot and improve yourself as a software engineer. Also, in my opinion, dog fooding and Boy Scouting are like the most important pieces of dev culture. Without it, I can't imagine how you can achieve like really polished product that is loved by others. Yeah, if you have super powerful MacBook, please use CPU throttling. Test your hypothesis. And the last one, I mentioned it slightly, actually compete with your competitors. We are lucky and we have really high quality ones like Notion or Linear. And I always compare our solution to theirs. And if they can make something fast, why can't we do the same? And yeah, soon after this, we had a demo for one of our largest potential customers, and their feedback included this piece. You never know what catches users' attention, and it feels really nice. And that's basically it. This was my first big talk ever. Hope it wasn't too bad. If you want, you can give me anonymous feedback, or yeah, this is my Twitter. I'm trying to post a bit more right now. Other my contacts you can find on WarsawJS website. That's it.
Damn, way to go. That was your first talk ever.
Yeah.
Amazing job. That was a way to enter the scene.
I mean, I did once a presentation at Hackathon, but
we have our first question.
I kept noticing that you use callback on interval renderer component, because that part looked like a regular functional component, but it was wrapped in a
sorry,
use callback.
I didn't hear the beginning of the question.
Okay. I cannot help. I couldn't help but notice that interval renderer component was actually a hook. Use callback.
Okay.
So it renders JSX, but it's a use callback, and I'm curious how did it end up?
Yeah, as I said, the whole library was written like 5 or 6 years ago, and then barely anyone touched it. So yeah, that's how it ended up there. And why it was use callback initially, because the prop was named also interval renderer, and it looked like a simple plain function. We assumed that this library waits for a regular function, and if they use it as a function instead of using it as a component, then there won't be any remounting issues. I hope you answered your question, but yeah, what I showed here was just a draft to verify my hypothesis. Later, I polished the code more and moved it to a good-looking component.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. I was hoping for a happy ending for that component.
Okay. Yeah, it got some love.
Sorry, you mentioned dog fooding. I get dog fooding. What is Boy Scouting?
Boy Scouting is basically your initiative. Like, no one told me to improve the performance of timelines. It was kind of okay. But yeah, I was using it and I felt the power that I can fix it. So yeah, I just went and fixed it.
Right, okay. No. Well done, you. Bro.
Okay. Any more questions before you clap? Wait. No? No hands? All right. Now you can clap. Fantastic. All right. And I think I shall invite our first lightning talk speaker, Sebastian. Wait, sorry, I'm so sorry, Oscar. Oscar, please come on stage. I mixed it up. Yeah, give him a hand. Do you need a laptop, or you're just gonna project?
There was gonna be a laptop?
Yeah, there is a laptop. If you need it, I thought maybe you're just gonna project it with yourself. Like, yeah, we can do a laptop. you do your computer magic? We are unplugging and plugging again? And restarting. Do we do? Oh, okay, that thing. Full service. You know, it always happens. So let me see. It's a keynote presentation, sir, that you sent us. It seems like we have a Mac OS computer that does not have a keynote. Is that possible? I don't know. It looks like who runs the computer without the keynote? Is it even possible to have Mac OS computer without keynote? Okay. I was always, actually, I honestly really hated Mac OS for being too opinionated. I recently bought a Mac computer for the first time, and when the M series. I don't know. How do we open this now? We don't. Do we download Keynote? Okay, I guess. All right. Yeah, I can just. In the meantime, I can just complain about Mac OS. So for I'm just need to feel some time, so I'm going to tell a story, I guess. A preview.
When you hit space.
Can we do it like this? It's Finder preview. This is the most janky. Can you just no? Yes, do it. Right. So what I was saying? Oh yeah, why I hate Mac OS. I feel like I'm on a stand-up comedy show. Yeah. So I was running Linux for like many years, and then I was like, okay, Mac OS, the M series processors are so good, and I travel a lot. When I speak, I need like a laptop that lasts for at least more than 4 hours on charge. And I was like, okay, the first thing I tried to do is open a file in Finder, and when you press enter, why is it rename? It makes no sense, and you cannot change it. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Mac OS. I really hate it. What also I connected a mouse, and I wanted to scroll it one-way scrolling on the mouse and natural scrolling on a touchpad. But they're connected. There are two settings in different places: mouse settings and touchpad settings. And there are two different settings. But when you flip one, the other flips. It makes no sense, right? I'm running out of things to say. Help me out. You have a story, Chris?
No.
Okay. Yes? That's true. There's no delete. Okay, now we are roasted. Anyone has anything else to say about anything bad? Come on, what? No. The cutting and pasting, yes. I don't think I ever managed to understand how that works as well. There's a bunch of different things that are weird. And all the people I talked to about Mac OS, there's like, this is how it's supposed to be, because you don't understand. Like, this is the right way. Everything else is wrong. I was like, yes, it might be, but at least let me change it. And they just don't. Are you guys doing anything else? I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable here. Everything that there is. But mostly it's just use Ubuntu because it just works. It's the easiest one. Everything is, you don't have to compile stuff. It just works. You just install a package and it works. Yeah. Trust me. No, why would I do that? That's for nerds. Okay, would you like to tell us something about macOS? Yeah, it's open mic. Open mic season. Go ahead.
Hi, Mom. Linux is free only if your time is worthless.
Yeah. Do you really even need the presentation at this point? Ooh. I think this is better. Okay.
Nobody else steal the screen.
Done? Secure? We have so many software engineers trying to connect a computer to a monitor, to a big screen. Yes! Finally. Okay. You have negative 6 minutes left for your talk.
Can I use it?
Yeah, it's a lightning talk.
Okay.
We can check it.
I try.
Now the screen will break.
Will it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So my name is Oscar, and I want to talk to you about prompt compressor today. Yeah. Previously, I used to talk about Porter. It was this little project to port your JS to TypeScript. But people from this audience told me, why don't you port your TypeScript back into JS because it makes more sense. Yeah, it was during ChatGPT 3 days. So during that time, I also developed another thing. Basically, it was calling GPT in a loop and trying to force it to make this thing that I really wanted. Yeah, it was basically kind of agent kind of thing. So yeah, there are two kinds of people, right? Some people try to desperately keep AI inside the box, so it won't do naughty stuff. So there are other people trying to give it all SSH keys, all their secrets, all their password, and put it into the world and tell it, get out of the box, right? So I was the latter. So I wanted to see how far can it go with all my access to my to account on cloud on GCP. But it was ChatGPT, if you remember, ChatGPT 3, if you remember. So limitations were pretty harsh. It was like 2,048 tokens. It ain't much. So yeah, I tried to work with that. I wanted to run commands, and often when you see outputs of certain commands, they're not really that dense in terms of information. Sometimes you can just remove entire parts of text and it still works, it still makes sense. So removing random tokens works pretty well. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Okay. Okay, I won't use this clicker anymore. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's a very simple idea. Just remove random tokens from the prompt. It will make your information denser, and you can actually read this sentence, right, with some letters missing. So LLM can do that too. So yeah, it's kind of crazy idea, but it's also kind of works. One of colleagues from my office told me, why don't you benchmark it? If it makes sense, it should produce some numbers, right? So it did. I have no idea why these charts. I didn't investigate them too deep, but it actually seems kind of makes sense. But why it's better when you remove 10% of tokens? Maybe there are people that understand science and stuff. Then please help me to understand this. Here, if you remove 20% of tokens in this benchmark, it's even better than with all the tokens. I know. So yeah, I made it into kind of Docker container to make it invisible proxy. So this is a prompt compressor. You can just plug it into your existing LLM stack and it will work. Yeah, so this is kind of how it works. You send the prompt compressor just do the compression, send it to OpenAI or whatever, and you get response. So basically, yeah, it's a GitHub project. You can contribute if you will. You can use it. yeah, I won't steal your OpenAI key because yeah, it's secret. So yeah, that's it. If if you want to contact me, please feel free to reach out. Where's the host? Demo? Okay, so I will just, maybe there are some questions.
Okay, I have one question. Because on the slide you demonstrated deleting tokens, like removing some letters, but tokens usually do not contain the specific letters, or but more usually the whole phrases or something. So does removing specific letters really lowers the number of tokens that we use? Because for example, there can be a token UR, and when you remove this O and those A and the E or whatever, then it divides into two tokens,
Yep,
which are
yep.
understandable.
Yep, that's a very good question, and actually that was for like demonstration purposes. But actually, that's very right. That tokens are like parts of words, like a couple of letters, and they're like there's corpus of tokens for particular LLM, right? So removing letters like wouldn't necessarily lower the number of tokens. But actually, in actual implementation, I tokenize the input and then remove tokens, not just letters, but entire tokens from input. So it was just for demo purposes, but in actual like code, it's removing tokens, not letters.
Okay, thanks.
I was in the bathroom. At the end of the talk, do we have any more questions? Yeah, just one.
So I was wondering, so do you have like any approach or algorithm that you use when determining which tokens to remove? Like are there some like redundant protocol info or something, or it's just random tokens?
Yeah, this is also a good question. I also tried to put some thought into this, but actually for like in this version, maybe it's future improvement. But actually we could do much better than removing just random tokens. We could maybe also use like lemmatization to just shorten the words, and LLM can like eat them also like very well and make sense of that. So that would be another approach, yeah.
Okay, so it's like trying to compress them. Yeah, it's compressor. Like retain the sense of the tokens, and but without additional info.
Yeah, exactly. And also the trick is to make it in like lightweight way, right? So we don't want to have another LLM call to compress the message, but it should be something very simple to not put like heavy load or additional costs. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And with that in mind, we thank you for your valuable contribution. Now you will not be able to disconnect from the screen ever. You just go home and it will continue streaming. Yeah, just keep that in mind if you want to visit some questionable websites later, because it's people are gonna see. Right, and yeah, it's still here. That's what I'm saying. Like, be careful. Be careful what you do now. All right, and with that in mind, I welcome our next speaker, directly coming from Kair Morgan. Moran, that's how you pronounce it? Sebastian. That is not Sebastian, for sure, but they said they will take care. These are professionals. Yeah, we definitely will never have any more problems with slides or anything like this. Everything is taken care of. Don't worry about it.
But I'm asking for even more patience with the screen. Still
That is true. Oh, wow. What a beautiful moment of silence. They've muted me. What? No? Okay. They haven't muted me.
But I can promise it's gonna be worth the wait.
Definitely. This is the best lightning talk of the day. No offense to anyone who did a lightning talk ever. Yeah, I should not say that. Forget about this. Is this recorded? Can we? No, this is the average lightning talk we get on WarsawJS. Nothing really remarkable about it. To be honest, I've seen many like this. Yeah, it's just the normal lightning talk. Yeah, it's fine. No one's gonna go to work tomorrow, right? Yeah. By the way, very nice. Very good point. Right. So we just had someone. I hope they're still watching. Someone from the live stream asked the question: what is the best way to get into JavaScript? Right. That was the question. So if you were just starting now, what resources, courses, or something else? Where do you want to start? So does anyone from the audience want to answer this question? So, okay, we got one here. Go ahead.
Dr. Alex Rauschmeier, if I pronounce it right, has recently posted an article, a comprehensive article and a tutorial on how to start front-end development. I highly recommend it.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much. Maybe. All right. To be honest, we are just about ready now, but I hope that answers your question at least somewhat, dear person from the audience on YouTube. And we are ready with something really incredible. And do you want like a countdown or a countdown? Okay, let's just do it.
Developers, not monsters. But some of your code smells worse than the ghosts. All right, Witchers, let's start our quest. Witchers, let's start our wild hunt.
Wild hunt. Conjunction of spheres is not over.
The conjunctions of spheres is not over. Angular realm is shifting. Signal grows stronger. Zone fades into legend. And new control flow impatience rise. Witchers, ready your silver swords. Angular future wild hunt is calling. Welcome everyone. My name is Sebastian Jos and I'm development manager at BC Poland. On the daily basis, I'm also coding that. You can find me at tatakoji.pl, and I'm also co-organizer of Angular Warsaw. So if you work with Angular or you would love to work in future or get some insights, I invite you to join us also on the other meetup. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story of Angular's future wild hunt. As mentioned, signals grow stronger. In battle, we field signs, art to shatter, igni to burn. In Angular, new magic emerges, signals. No longer must chase observables through the log, instead signal, computed and effect, power bound directly to our will. There are new signs, witchers, which you have to learn to handle signals. Start with signal, then computed, then linked signal. Effects will also help us, and resource, which is still experimental for most of the witchers. In this example, you can see how I'm trying to get rid of some neckers. Let's start. We set three neckers. They appear. Then I can feel my wolf medallion is starting to blink. And then it will blink until we fight them, until they're dead. So we look at the computed, which helps us to indicate whether we are safe or we have to fight. When I strike, we can deduct Necker's lives. And at the end, we can be finally rested. Then, apart from signals, the zone fades into the legend. But be aware, some magic will appear. For years, Zone.js bound together our async chaos. Yet this old spell weakens. Angular now marches towards a zoneless future, faster, sharper, free of the burden of hidden sorcery. And a new control flow incantations rise. Fresh runes are carved into the fabric of our templates. If, for, switch, no longer crude charms like ngIf. Now, incantations clear and strong. In this example, you can see how I take care of guards in Angular City. You can see that until they call, I will use my old signs. And if you are interested what's coming in the future of Angular, pick up your phones and scan this code, because that's the place where you will get to know a bit more. Let's take a quick look what's hidden in this black magic book. You can simply see the wild hunt of Angular's future on the roadmap. Then you can explore what's coming, and you should be ready for some experimental features like resource API or HTTP resource to deal with signal. Then, as mentioned, there are some production-ready things which are coming in the newest versions of Angular. Remember that apart from the ones mentioned, there is way much more, like selectorless, like signal forms, which will finally revolutionize the Angular forms. And nothing else but the zoneless is coming. You should also take care of material design, where we will see accessibility coming. And what's more, we will also see some improvements in tooling, which will improve development experience. Worth to mention, you should follow the changes because there are also some tools which will improve our daily work in the browser. And that's it, dear Witchers. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions? We did. But the signs weren't easier.
Is it true that Witchers eat babies?
Do you think that this is good that the zone.js spell is getting quicker and weaker, as you said, and we are transforming to the signals?
I think it depends how old your magic books are. If they exist since the beginning of Angular's conjunctions, you should probably not burn them. But when you start brand new school of Angular, you should not pass with zone.js.
All right, any more questions?
Are there any elixirs on the Angular meetup?
Oh yes, there are. And believe me, on the next Lightning Talks we will do some elixirs here on the stage. But let it be the promise, not observable.
That goes hard. Okay. Any more questions? I think we are done. I was going to ask if is it true that Witchers eat babies?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Do Witchers eat babies? I heard in the village.
Well, only React and Vue.js babies.
And he disappears. I don't even, like, do I even have to do another lightning talk? At this point, I'm just... No, I mean, after that talk, I think we gotta close the meetup. Oh, it's charging. Thank you. Thank you. All right, yeah, I'll do my best. I am. HDMI maybe? Everyone's tired probably, right? If you're tired, this is not an important lightning talk. It's just, more than that, I just made a slide for it. No? No, don't. Okay. It's a kind of space technology. Okay. Yeah, did you know that we sent JavaScript to space? So it was on one of the SpaceX rockets. The UI for it was made with JavaScript, which is insane. Everybody loved it. Of course, it was probably very fast. To be honest, it isn't really. Why not? It does the job, right? It's not like it's some life-critical technology. Okay. About what?
About debug. are we waiting for something? Because I wanted to say something about the recent hack, which is popular. Have you heard about debug package problems? So it was, yeah. So there is very interesting, because we'll still have like 2 minutes. Oh no.
No, it should be fine very soon.
So if you haven't heard, then like 2 days ago, there was announced a huge problem in the npm.js ecosystem. And basically, like packages which have 2 billion downloads were hijacked. And some people tried to use npm.js package registry to steal, in this case, cryptocurrencies. And I just wanted to share with you that if you were not having MetaMask on your computer, then you don't need to worry about this, what was happening in those packages, because in project that I'm maintaining, I'm using debug.js, and immediately when I'm in debug.js, debug is a logging utility which is allowing you to steer logging to console with environmental variable. This is so a lot of packages are using this, and basically this got recently hacked, and all of the packages are like bigger libraries are using this. But I just wanted to tell you that if you are using this at in your work, then as long as you didn't ship your debug code to front-end library, then you don't need to worry about this very popular hack. So if you would go to this evening, to your computer and you will open YouTube, you might see like, okay, npm.js got hacked and there's other problems. But generally, this is not. This was just meant for stealing cryptocurrencies. We don't need to worry about our production being hacked. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for public service announcement. It's a shame that we got this bit of information not while we actually had to wait for something, but it's all right. It's not like we... Right. So I just wanted to tell a little story. As you can see, the slides have company name and date on them at the very bottom. That's just because I literally just made those slides. But here's the story, a little story. So I really wanted to make something. I wanted to make an app, a very small app that I just clicked on this app. And it will just tell me the time when the next bus is going to arrive to the bus stop that's literally next to, like outside my apartment building. That's it, nothing else. And I set a time limit for myself. Because we are living in the age of AI and things like that. I'll just feed Claude Code or ChatGPT and just do it, right? I want to use. I just wanted to know when my bus arrives, nothing else, right? So I set myself a time limit for 20 minutes. Oh yeah, basically 20 minutes, quick adventure, and that's it, right? So let's take a look at this website here. So this is, as far as I know, the only official API of Warsaw Public Transport. And I really hope that just someone in here tells me like, no, this is actually not something people use. We have a much better and new API, and you just wasted I don't know how many hours. And I really want anyone to say this, but anyone ever seen this before? Anyone ever worked with this before? One person, which is, you probably know how I feel. So I open up this website. This is supposed to be an API, right? So so far so good. We have something that is kind of questionable maybe, but it's fine. By the way, this is not clickable. If you click here, nothing happens. Only this part is clickable. You can see by my cursor here. But that's all right. It's on the inside of the API what matters, right? So I think that's where I'm supposed to have to go to find. Oh, there we go. So by the way, there is no client or server-side routing, so everything you have, the URL stays like this. And then if you want to go back there, you have to click again. Yes? Oh, that's true. That's us. That's the building. If you wave, you can... I hope it's live. Right, so this one is also partially clickable. That's all right. I think this is... Yep. Right, so this is the API documentation. So you have to sort of log in, get your API key, and then, yeah, I thought, okay, should be fine. I'll just probably ask ChatGPT. By the way, almost forgot to show you. So I was like, okay, this is the docs, and I could see there's like a button that says, that's in Polish, but it says documentation. And of course, it's a PDF file that for some reason opens in a window like this. That's totally, I'm sorry. Okay, that's all right. It scrolls down like that. But it is possible to download this PDF file, and which I did. So I thought to myself, okay, it's kind of convenient. It's in a PDF file. I'll just give it to ChatGPT and say, here's docs. Please just make me a thing that I want. That's it. Let's start with something. So I gave it instructions, I gave it the PDF file, and nothing works. And we're going to find out why, right? So let's talk about endpoints in this API. So we just talked about REST APIs recently. Can you guess what's the URL for get schedule for bus stop is? What's the endpoint URL? I would love for it to be something in Polish or any other language, but that's right, of course. It's API action DB timetable get ID 88CD555F-63 and so on. And this is not my API key. This is how the endpoint looks, right? And it needs a bus stop ID for me to add append to parameters in order to get it, right? So I was like, okay, I need a bus stop ID. So there is an endpoint to find bus stop by name. Do you know what's the endpoint URL? Of course, it's API action DB timetable get AB75C3D-3A and so on, right? And these are all the endpoints. All the endpoints are like this, and this one needs a bus stop parameter, bus stop name, right? Let's talk about error handling in this API. You're gonna see exactly 2 errors. These are this entire API. No matter what you do, you will get either this or that. The parameter is wrong. That ID, you mistyped that ID, you get this. Oh, so sorry, I had the English version of it on the right. So you get that, or you get this. There's no one else. So there's no parameter validation. There's nothing else. And because all the endpoints look like this, a lot of LLMs, basically, they just cannot figure out which endpoint is which one. And this really confuses LLMs. Just surely, I don't know. Someone has to have made it on purpose. Nothing just works, right? So at the end, I wasted 2 hours looking at those errors because there's literally no possible way to debug anything because that's the error message every single time. Only 2 errors, right? So I wasted a couple of hours. Then I saw someone actually made a Python wrapper for this API, which I had to go and look it up. But I still couldn't make it work because for some reason some parameters are in English and some of them are in Polish. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I went to a Polish forum somewhere and I saw someone actually used that API to build an open source sort of, well, it's not open source, but it's an app, something of what I wanted, and I figured I could just maybe I'll get this stop ID. Basically, at the end, what I did, I just, from the server of this website, I downloaded a JSON file, which is just, the JSON file with the schedule, and I just made my app. That took me about 3 hours in total, and I was really angry, and I wanted to make this small talk. That's it. It's what I wanted to share. It's not really. Thanks. Yes?
I wanted to ask, how did you register on this site? Because I'm trying right now.
Oh,
and I'm
that is a
like,
very good question.
And it tells me to do an equation.
Yes.
I do it good. It says okay, but it says it's wrong.
Yes. This is, oh, sorry, I just showed everyone my API key, but that's okay.
Also, the UI looks better on phones.
It happens, it happens. I need to log out. I need to revalidate it probably at this point, but that's all right.
Thank you for the key.
Right, so yeah, yeah, so I tried 4 times to sign up for this. There is like, you have to provide the solution to the equation, click those, but also, for some reason, sometimes when you just click it, nothing happens.
Yeah, but yeah, I literally like 15 times I tried this, and like the last 2 times it tells me like green okay, but a prompt with wrong equation.
It is what it is. So yes, if
So,
anyone
yeah.
has an up-to-date version of this API that I could use, please let me know because I'm going to cry otherwise. And yeah, thank you. I guess that's gonna be.
One quick question. So currently, we're using CAPTCHAs to limit the bots to accessing our resources, right? Apparently, this whole API is a CAPTCHA.
That's true.
Just a comment, thank you.
That was not a question, by the way, but I appreciate it. Okay, I guess we now have to somehow revert back to our working laptop, which might take some time, to be honest. Of course, now we have all the time in the world.
Yeah, maybe not a question, but a statement. Work smart, not hard, right? If they created such API and LLMs cannot handle it, it means they have a job for a long time, right? So work smart, not hard.
So we need the magic reset again? Yeah. Of course. All right, well, it's come to an end. And I appreciate everyone who's sat through all the technical difficulties. Yeah, it happens. 1, 2, 3, it's all right. And well, okay, now I have the microphone back. So I appreciate you, each and every one of you, for sitting through all the technical difficulties. Even now, I can plug it in. Okay. Okay. Right. So it's been fun, and we appreciate all the people letting us sort of occupy this beautiful venue. And thank you to BAC Poland for letting us do that. No. Okay. So what am I waiting for? What's the clue? It's when all this, when everything is blue. Okay. Yeah, it's the blue screen of life. I think actually in the latest, one of the latest updates, Windows has got rid of, they got rid of the blue screen of death. Oh, okay, sorry. Wait, we're waiting for a different blue screen. Oh, okay, okay. And now that will just work. In 5, 4, 3, even faster. Yes. So, if you enjoyed it, or if you didn't enjoy it, doesn't matter, let us know. Here's the QR code to a survey that you can, and we ask you, please do fill it out. So you can let us know if we did good, if you enjoyed something, or if you absolutely hated something, or someone hurt you, or you know what. And up for Meetup 131, we have one mystery speaker and a couple of I think there's been some sort of error because we have 2 people with the same name on the slides, but that's okay. So I would just say the following thing. If you just go to WarsawJS.com at some point in the future, maybe tomorrow, maybe even today in the evening, you will find everything that's up to date. What? His name is Keanu. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember he came for the first time. It's the French guy. Okay, so we're gonna have Keanu, Alexander Golgov, and Keanu talking about. I don't know which one of them is for the respective speakers, so we just get to figure it out. Go to WarsawJS, figure it out, and Kuba Pavlot is gonna be talking about unboxing issues with polymorphic React components, and that's gonna be on October 8th. That's right. I hope, yeah, let's meet up 1:30. Sorry, I'm just already being tired. So, yep, if you scan this QR code, you can get a ticket with the earliest bird discount, as per usual. I always forget to get that, but now I don't have to get tickets because I'm. What? What? Oh, okay, yeah. So you can see the speakers if you scan this QR code. Yeah, so you can do that as well. Right. I'm just waiting for people to finish scanning. Everyone's scanning. Love all the scanning. Okay, good. And of course, if you keep forgetting to get tickets, you can get this. This is just for the entire year of WarsawJS Pass, yearly pass. You're going to be the VIP guest every time. We'll greet you like this. We'll bow you, we'll bow to you, we'll welcome you with open arms. And if you get this, you're going to help us out with financial planning and some things. We're going to appreciate that. Right. And I think this is the last slide. And I thank everyone for coming and for being here and eating food. And please eat some more food on your way out. And talk to people, talk to speakers, talk to us. And we thank you for coming. Okay, now first a round of applause for you and the speakers and everyone here in the room. Yes. Thank you. And now I welcome everyone on stage so we could take a collective picture.